Two Minneapolis police officers captured in video footage restraining George Floyd were previously involved in other violent incidents while on duty, according to a database that documents instances of police brutality. Video footage showed Derek Chauvin, a 19-year veteran of the Minneapolis Police Department, kneeling on 46-year-old Floyd's neck for 9 minutes as he pleaded for his life. Floyd died following the encounter. Officers had been responding to a call from a grocery store that claimed Floyd had used a forged check. The Minneapolis Police Department said Floyd died a short time after a medical incident. The FBI and state agencies in Minnesota have launched separate investigations. 4 officers, including Chauvin, have been fired. Chauvin, who joined the force in 2001, had already been involved in several incidents, according to a database by Minneapolis Communities United Against Police Brutality. Chauvin was one of 5 officers who were placed on leave after they shot and wounded an Indigenous man in 2011, the Daily Beast reported. Later that year, officers had been responding to a domestic violence call, and Chauvin claimed that the man reached for his gun. The man was shot, not by Chauvin, but by a different officer and wounded. Authorities later determined that the officers had acted appropriately. The second officer, Tu Tao, is a 10-year veteran of the force. He was previously sued by a man who alleged he and 2 officers used excessive force during a 2014 arrest. The man, who had been walking along with his pregnant girlfriend, was stopped by Tao and another officer. Combined, the men have been the subject of more than a dozen civilian complaints, for which Chauvin has faced 3 verbal reprimands. The database confirmed that internal reviews of Chauvin and Tao's use of force by the Minneapolis Police Department resulted in no disciplinary action each time. On Thursday morning, buildings are still on fire, and protesters are clashing with police. For the second night in a row, peaceful protests over the in-custody death of George Floyd quickly turned violent Wednesday night, with multiple building structures set ablaze, widespread looting, and continued rioting. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey requested Minnesota Governor Tim Walz to deploy the Minnesota National Guard following the social unrest. Demonstrators torched multiple building structures, including an apartment complex and surrounding buildings, an AutoZone, and other retail stores. At least a dozen stores were looted and or damaged.